there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
What's up, guys? This is Bob from the band Silent Theory, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father. As always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have back on the show Mr. Bob James of Silent Theory. Silent Theory have released their new single and lyric video entitled 6 Feet Under, created by John Kuritz of Make Waves Media House. Now, that's the video, so we're going to be talking to Bob about all this good stuff. Man, welcome back to the show, and glad to have you on here. It's been a while now since you've been on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. It has been a little bit. Yeah, just happy to be able to have some new content to put out in the world and have some new to share.
So let's jump right into this, man. How's it been working with Paul Crosby Management so far for you guys? How's that working out?
It's been kind of surreal. I still go back to when Paul first reached out to us. Mitch and I had a pretty long conversation about there's no way this is real Paul Crosby, right? Like, this has got to be some sort of scam. And thankfully it wasn't. But yeah, it's been unreal being able to work with somebody that we've looked up to musically for so long. But I mean, he's a really great guy, funny as hell, and he's got some really great connections and stuff like that. And it's really just it makes a difference when you have somebody in your corner that can, drop like, hey, I'm Grammy award-winning artist like so-and-so. Like, why don't you talk to my guy? So it's nice having that clout. What's
impressed or excited you the most, Bob, creating the new single 6 Feet Under, if anything, man? What sticks out for you the most about it?
Obviously we love all the songs that we put out there. Like, we try and only write songs that we truly believe in. This song was a little more on the nose than we usually write our songs. Like, we try and write songs typically that are a little open to interpretation. But this song, it was a pervasive issue that we just kept seeing in the news. You couldn't not turn around somewhere and see it. And so, Dakota just really was inspired to write a very specific story. And, song is about, this continually growing epidemic around, the school shootings and mass shootings and stuff like that at festivals and just all kinds of stuff. And just, it seems like it's a conversation that has stalled out, this shouldn't be happening. And then nobody can decide what to do, or nobody wants to have a conversation of what the next step is. And so we were just, I don't know, it was a lot of information that we just kept taking in, and we felt like it was just something that inspired us to kind of share the story through our lens a little bit.
And I'm going to say this right now, a lot of this has calmed down since we've all been quarantined and stuff, if anybody hasn't noticed that. So there's some weird stuff, if you ask me.
Yeah, thankfully. I mean, you keep seeing all the stuff about the armed protests and stuff like that, and that makes me a little nervous. I think it's perfectly great that people are protesting. I think that is one of the beauties of, the system we have in America, is that people have the right to have an opinion and, express their opinions and stuff. But I'm not really sure where the semi-automatic rifles come into the conversation about, epidemics and stuff like that.
Is this song going to be a single only, or is this going to be on an upcoming EP or an album down the road, possibly?
I think it'll definitely be on an album. Life kind of happened a little bit because we had a timetable that we were shooting for getting an album out. And we've kind of missed that mark, but we are definitely still shooting to get an album out, hopefully by the end of this year. We'll see how all this stuff kind of shakes out, because we had some studio time scheduled this spring, and that's all kind of been pushed back because of everything that's going on. But we're still cautiously optimistic that we can get an album out in a reasonable amount of time. And we're just really excited to be writing new music.
Now, this video was created by John Kuritz of Make Waves Media House. How was working with him on this?
We love working with John. He's worked with a lot of bands in our area and does really, really great music videos. And we've worked with him a couple times in the past on our videos for For the Storm and Watch Me Burn. Yeah, I don't know. He's a really great guy. He's got a good eye. He's really, really easy to work with, and we're happy with the results we get.
Are you guys in the process right now working on a new album? If so, how much is written so far and completed maybe?
As far as written, I would say we're probably at a solid like 60 or 70%. We've definitely, like I said, life has kind of happened a little bit, and so we haven't had as much time to actually sit down and focus on it as we were hoping to have. But we definitely have a lot of really good stuff that is in the works and moving in the right direction. I know Dakota's got a bunch of content that he's kind of got floating around his head. We're waiting on some music to get to him so he can kind of put it all together. But yeah, I definitely think we are closer than not and headed in the right direction.
Are there any tracks standing out more to you than any right now you guys are working on that you could possibly talk about maybe?
You know, we've got a couple songs. Honestly, the song that's really like kind of stuck in my head, that's still like one of my favorites to play of the newer songs. It was a song we released a video for just last year. Sticks and Stones of our newer songs is really the one that sticks with me. I don't know. It's a lot of fun to play. It seems to get a really good reaction out of people, and like we had to work with some really great people on that music video, and we're really, really happy with how that one turned out. We have a few like really good, like Scott's got some really good ideas that are kind of formulated that we still need to work through, but I think people can expect a really good album. I would hope so. I would definitely say that the music is on par with Delusions, but definitely growing a little bit. I think if people like Delusions, they'll definitely like this new album.
Was it hard to choose which song that you guys wanted to release first with all these singles before putting this album out?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think anytime we release a song by itself, it's always just kind of a gut feeling of sorts, like, because obviously we like all of the songs, but like we try and put out the ones that we think either have a really good, strong message and or we think are just, really catchy songs that people will enjoy.
Writing the new songs, does it challenge or push you guys still to come up with something new and stay fresh with Silent Theory's music these days? Is it pushing you outside that box and moving your guys' music in a different direction or staying with that same sound?
I definitely think that we are gently going in a different direction. Like I said, I think Silent Theory will always have that Silent Theory sound. Like if you like Delusions, I think you'll definitely like all the new stuff. But I think that we're always trying to push ourselves as people and as artists. And I mean, obviously, as you get older, you get slightly different perspectives on things and things like that. And I definitely think that our writing is growing. And it's something that we're really trying to foster and stuff. Cause I mean, we love the music we've written in the past, but we've been there and done that. We want to keep moving and writing new stuff and keep it interesting.
Who did the artwork for the single 6 Feet Under?
Scott does all of our graphic design. The picture was from a photographer at one of our shows, just snapped a couple of really, really good shots. So we got some permission from them, and then Scott kind of did all the extra stuff to it. But yeah, Scott thankfully chose to get a college degree in something useful for the rest of us and works in graphic design. So yeah, it really works out for us.
What do you hope everyone takes away or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Silent Theory's music in general, Bob? What do you hope they get from it, man?
I mean, it sounds a little cliche, but we just really want the music to inspire some sort of thought. I would never say that we're a political band. I definitely think some of our songs kind of trend that way sometimes, but we really just want to write songs that can affect people. And I think the thing that motivates us the most is seeing all the comments on YouTube and messages that people send us and, things that people say at shows about, how our music has helped them through a dark period or, has they tie our song to a special memory they have or something. We just really want to write songs and are just we feel like we've done a good job if we write songs that really appeal to people in more than just a catchy tune. We want to write songs that mean something to people. And so it's really always our goal. And thus far, I think we've done a pretty good job of that.
What can fans expect at a show from Silent Theory who have not got to see you guys live as of yet? Once everything gets back to some normalcy and we hopefully get to see some shows, what can they get from you guys?
God, I hope so. We are all really big fans of live music and concerts and things. And so really that's where we really are happiest. Because, obviously being in the studio is a good time and it's something that everybody dreams of doing when they're young. But, honestly, being on stage is just kind of where we're the happiest, being able to interact with the fans and kind of, it's a really big shared experience. And so I think when people come to a Silent Theory show, they can expect a lot of energy, just a good time, maybe some really immature jokes because, we're all, a little age stunted. But, I think you can just expect a good time. Like, it's not going to be like a super heavy, like extra mosh pity kind of thing, but I think people will have a really good time.
So with this quarantine here lately, the past couple of months, has this allowed you guys to actually focus more on writing than, say, normal, say, everyday life possibly?
I think it has a little bit. It's made it a little tricky because Scott and Mitch both have small children, and so we've all kind of kept our distance a little bit. But we've, taken the time, since we're not spending money on gas or anything like that. So we reinvested in some new equipment, and I think we've all been really spending some time with that and just kind of exploring the options that those provide. And I know Scott's been at home just cranking away on the guitar. So I definitely think it has helped having a little extra time.
So since everyone is still in quarantine and we're getting back out there just a little bit now, do you think concerts and festivals will have the same impact as before with sales and attendance? Or do you think this has really hurt it in the long run because things are going to be a lot different now once we are able to get back out there, I believe?
I think so, too. I am really cautiously optimistic that I think it'll take some time, but I think we'll get back to a place where people feel comfortable going to shows and stuff like that. And I do think that we'll get there, but what's really sad is the music scene in the U.S. has already kind of been struggling, at least in my experience, a little bit for the last, decade or so. As far as there's a lot of smaller venues that, have the capability of putting on a lot of great shows, but it's sometimes really hard to get people to come out to those shows. And so my big fear is a lot of those venues that support a lot of the up and coming bands, I'm afraid are not going to survive this. And, then where will a lot of these younger bands that are trying to, cut their chops, where are they going to play? So that's my biggest concern out of it. Cause I think the Metallicas and the Slivas and stuff like that, I think that they'll always be able to book a show, but how do we get that next generation coming up?
That's very true. I agree with you 1,000%. But, and I hate to say this, and I hate keep going back to, digital internet. What about live shows, live streaming stuff? That could be another outlet for you guys to do.
I definitely think that is going to be more of a thing going forward. I think it's one of those that we probably have the technical capabilities of doing it for the last couple of years, but this has really forced a lot of people to learn new uses of the technology they already had. I mean, there's already been a few benefit concerts and things like that put on by late night hosts and what have you with, bigger stars. And so I definitely think that there's a very strong possibility that could be a thing in the future.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Silent Theory's music gets support from, or you guys' music even gets played in possibly?
Yeah. I mean, it's always surprising and very, I don't know, we love the fact that technology has allowed us to spread our music across the globe and stuff like that. And so we always think it's cool when we get responses from people, but the one that really surprises me is we have a surprisingly large demographic in Brazil. And I know that South America traditionally likes, heavy metal and stuff like that. But both on Spotify and just all of our social medias and stuff like that, we have a very large following in Brazil, and it's really cool, but I don't get it.
I know you had a lot of music growing up. I know you had a lot of albums when you was growing up, but did you have one go-to album or one go-to song when you were younger that just made you escape, man, or let you escape and made you think that everything was going to be okay?
Oh, man. Yeah. I know this is really polarizing to say, but I will say kind of in a really formative part of my life is when I discovered Metallica. And I will say that the Black Album was one that I could put on any time of day. I could put it on and, fall asleep because I was just that good. And I don't know. That album holds a special place in my heart because it got me through some times.
That album still sells today, the Black Album, and it still sells a lot, believe it or not.
It seems to be really polarizing, though. It just feels like there's Metallica fans before the Black Album and Metallica fans after the Black Album.
That is very true.
I like all of it except for Saint Anger. That was a garbage album, but
really,
the rest of it I really enjoy. Yeah, I didn't care for Saint Anger.
It's one of those albums where you just have to play many times before it kind of sinks in.
Yes.
I like it. I'm a sucker for stuff, all that stuff, man. I don't know. I can't say there's an actual bad album out there, but they are a lot of bad songs on albums. I'll say that. Not by Metallica, but others. That's fair.
Yeah, there's definitely albums that have a lot of filler on them.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. And you can tell it's like, fuck, this song was awesome. Then you go to this and it's like, what? Where'd that come from? What the hell? Jeez.
You guys were running out of time. I just needed something.
Yeah, somebody's out there trying to kill the cow. I mean, my God. Jeez. Oh God. Folks, you want to get out and pick up Silent Theory's new single, 6 Feet Under. You will not be disappointed. So, Bob, my friend, how could folks get in touch with you guys and buy some merchandise, tour dates when this all gets back to normalcy, and pick up this new single? How can they do that?
Absolutely. So you can find us on any of the usual social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff, Instagram. And then you can also find us anywhere you can find music online. So Amazon, the Google Play, Spotify, all those places. And then if you were looking for a easy way to find all of that stuff, you can go to silenttheory.com. We have links to all of our socials and everything like that, but we also have a link to our merch store. You can get physical CDs. We got a bunch of cool merch and stuff like that. We just got some new hats in a little bit ago. Yeah, just check it out, silenttheory.com. And if you get a chance, head over to the social media sites and give us that big blue thumbs up. It really means a lot to us.
So the album, let me ask you this before we conclude the podcast here. The album, are we looking for we're almost in summer now. Jeez, I don't even feel like it. Are we going to be seeing a late 2020 release, or are we looking at first of 2021?
We are really shooting to get it in 2020. I mean, there's a lot of balls up in the air, but we are really shooting. I think if we can get the right things to align, we can definitely make it happen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's what we're shooting for.
Hey, before I let you go, would you care to do another promo for the show?
Absolutely. What's up, guys? This is Bob from the band Silent Theory, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour podcast. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. Please, folks, we are all over all the platforms. Go to our podcast link, like it, our YouTube link, like it. I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up, plus old stuff that we're trying to get put up many years ago, like many moons when we used to have concerts and all this good stuff that you're going to see, all these interviews and everything. So just please get out and support us and support Silent Theory. Pick up their new single, 6 Feet Under. Again, you will not be disappointed. Bob, as always, you're welcome on here, and I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure being here.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.